Alright, so looking at the motor, you can see all these cables and shit. Don't really put them onto it. We're just trying to get this motor to crank. So this purple wire is going to be for your starter. Like I said, it's not finalized. We're just trying to see if this motor will turn over and idle. Connect your starter wire to your factory key. This wire right here, I'm not exactly sure if it gets 12 volts the whole time or just the initiation to turn on your PCM. I have to look at the instructions on the pamphlet itself for this harness. Right now I got it, boo-boo rigged with some tape to my 12 volt source, which is right here on your battery. So from here, you just touch it and then it should initiate it to turn it on. So that's to turn all this on, give you your spark and todo pinche in your injector. You got spark, now you need fuel. So my fuel pump is grounded to the frame itself, and I got my positive, or the power source coming out to this little connector right here, and it just got an extension. So from here, you just give it 12 volts. So at 12 volts, you get about 54 to 55 psi. Once I attempt to crank it over, it might drop down 2 psi, and that's about it. It should be enough to crank it, but we're not getting no crank, so we don't know exactly what the issue is. It might be that I'm missing a ground or two. Maybe something I'm missing on as far as the PCM, have to connect something else. But I'm gonna get into it and actually figure it out. We don't have no coolant. Like I said, we just want to have it idling to make sure all this shit works. Got my intake just connected on there for the meantime. None of this should be a reason why. The only thing I can think of, and what I was told, is probably a grounding issue. So what I'm gonna do is ground out both cylinder heads. The more grounds, the better, to help you out for an LS. Now if you come over here, which is the local junkyard, we got a lick today. So all this, and this right here was the free 99 special. You just throw this into your bolsa, and you ain't really gotta pay for it. So as far as grounding issues, we got a couple factory ground straps. We're gonna ground each cylinder head to make sure that's not an issue. A couple spark plug boots, because those are kind of fucked up already. The pigtail for your factory harness, if you want to do a different style, as far as relays or whatever, but you just need your pigtails. A little cover piece for your electric fan, and then this little bracket that holds your that box that I was showing you a minute ago to your actual where your alternator is mounted. So you can see we got a lick, went to the junkyard and got 2 E-fans. One came out of the Tahoe, maybe 05, and the other one was a Silverado E6. So if you do electric fans and you don't want to buy, they have an aftermarket harness because they might have issues. So you might run into issues. Then you take the factory one off. So what you do is this block controls your relay. Well, this relay kit section controls your fans. When they cut on and cut off, you throw the pedal. So what you have to do, which this is located, is right where your fuse box is and your motor. Like a little cover piece to it. You take it off and right beside it, you have to take all these wires out. You have to disconnect this from the bottom of the fuse box. You have to keep this terminal ring because this actually controls and gives power to this whole thing. This right here goes to your E-fans. You know this goes to your E-fans. One thing to note, do not cut it, just depin it. It might be a little bit more of a hassle and extra time, but it's well worth it because if you snip it and you're gonna try to connect it to your computer, there's no way, bare wire, you're gonna have these little terminal rings or ends to it. So just, cut off all your wire, your loom, and actually depin it right from the computer. Once you do that, this you're not going to use. All this is to your headlights, turn signals, horn, and probably your wiper, washer fluid motor, and then some other nonsense. So from here, you go all the way down. This went to the factory, I'm assuming the airbag sensor. You keep it going, and that's whenever you come to your actual pigtails for your harness itself. From here this way, it just controls all your stuff for your passenger side. Like I said, as far as headlights, turn signals, and probably your horn on that side as well. So from here, just cut it out, but just give you enough room because you are gonna have to reuse these. These are your grounds. They run all the way back to your block itself. So just cut it out. Then after you do that, wherever you cut it from, what vehicle, then you can go back and take all this loom out, take out all these wires that you don't need, reloom it, and then put it back in the vehicle. On this application, on the C10, I'm gonna try to mount this inside as well. But the only thing I'll probably run into the issue of is to supply my power. So I might just have to cut this off and extend it to a 12-volt source, which should be good. But like I said, here in a little bit, I'm gonna go through the process of actually taking all this old shit out, cleaning it up, relooming it, because we need to go ahead and get this done. Because the tuner's gonna come one of these days and turn it on, so you can go ahead and set when it turns on, when it turns off. And you got what you go? What you go? Get the veneno. There you go. So all this for free. Just, you know, tuck it away. I think I ended up paying $90 for both of these. So I consider that today's lick from the junkyard. We already got one in the truck. I'm gonna use one and adapt it to Scar, and then the other one will probably go to my sister's round body. But we got everything we need to go ahead and do that. Bro, it's fucking stress, boy. I just want to go to sleep. Can't even do that here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and not my 5, but we're gonna have to consider that 5 now. Things to fix or get addressed. The old 5th gen, I gotta take everything out because it's just been neglected. I haven't really cleaned it. As you can see, the outside, the inside is pretty dirty, which is kind of ironic because I'm always consistent on cleaning my vehicles. But I at least want to clean all this shit, and then whatever's in the ram boxes that's been there for a while now. Scar is kind of down for the count, for the reason being, you driving, low RPMs, you get like a stutter, but once you accelerate it, it kind of, you know, fixes itself. So might be torque converter, might be transmission, I don't know. I don't want to mess with it. It still runs and drives, get you to A to B, kind of shitty, but we're just gonna leave it be for the meantime and get that addressed after all this. My old truck before Scar came back. My sister had a flip kit done with me a while back. Since then, she had like a little bit of a vibration issue. Possibly thought it was the tires or something. She went to go get it fixed. Suspension, got that fixed because it did need it because it was lifted and squatted and maxed the fuck out, and it all got wolf pussied over time. But since then, we did the flip kit, the whole drop kit, and then, like I said, she had vibration issues. She took it to another buddy or a close friend, and they told her that her pinioning was wrong. I've done, a good amount of flip kits. I never really dealt with somebody coming back and telling me that there was an issue, but in this application there was. Her pinion angle was kicked up, so we just got a sleeve, shim, whatever you want to call it, and had a 4-degree pitch and pushed it down. Now, I got some wood lights here for, a future build or something. I kind of went ahead and convinced her, well, since you got wheels, might as well go ahead and put them on there. So what we did is a 5-rail kit. You got your controller, your fuse, your weather tight connections, and then your receiver, your box, which is also with a remote or Bluetooth, which have the same one for SCAR. I already did the back, in the process of finishing up the front. It's not really mine as far as my issue, but they put it on me. Dad kind of got frustrated. Now I got to be the one frustrated with it. It is what it is. Now, the main basura and the main shit we're dealing with is trying to get this motherfucker to start. So everything on here is just thrown on there to get this sucker to run, to at least idle, so we don't have no coolant plumbed up. And then we just have cables ran everywhere. So we don't know if it's a fuel issue, which I don't think. My fuel pump is actually grounded to the frame itself, and I have a battery cable. Well, I have it grounded from the battery directly to the frame, so that's not going to be the issue itself as far as fuel delivery. And not just that, I tapped in to the fuel rail, and once I connect the pump, it reaches about 55, 54. Once you try to turn it over, you get, it drops down maybe 2 psi, but still it's relative. It's enough to turn on the motor just to idle, so I don't think it's fuel. I just think it's the harness itself. So the biggest issue is your grounds for a motor like this. So I got a shitload of grounds, since that can probably be the issue. We're trying to eliminate that being a possible reason. So I got a ground. My ground starts from here. It goes to the fender, and then here to the motor itself, here to the frame, and then the passenger side head to the frame, well, to the firewall, and then same thing from the driver's side head to the driver's side firewall. And then from the block again, went down and connected to the cab, and then from the cab to the frame. So we got, it's kind of goofy, it's kind of not, but we're trying to eliminate that being a reason as far as being why I don't want to turn on is ground. So we got ground covered. Hasta donde no. Y si quiere, chingue su madre, we'll put another one, fuck it. Now, we're not getting nothing. At first, I was constantly getting 10 volts out of the battery that we put in there. Even supplying, like it says right here, repaired 12 volts. Trying to supply 12 volts to get your shit to crank or whatever. Even trying to charge it for a good minute, 10 minutes or so, it would stay at 10 volts, 10 volts. I was getting 10 volts everywhere I read it, inside and out. So I said maybe that might be an issue, whether the computer or the PCM doesn't want to turn on or, do its thing. So I got the battery out of the donor truck, slapped it in there, y justo, papi, we got 12 volts. So we got this already figured out. We got the ground situation figured out, but we haven't got this motherfucker to start. So I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Now, boys, don't pay no mind to it. This is just laid on top of here just to get this sucker to idle. So this wire right here is to my fuel pump. Yes, I know you got to put a relay to it and all that bullshit, but just for right now, it'll do to see what the hell we got going on. And then this red wire is from the relay center or the fuse box. That's supposed to do its job. So this is supposed to get 12 volts with the key in the run position, the crank, and then the whole duration of the vehicle being on. Found that wire, and it's actually this pink wire on the truck itself. So if you try to do it without the fuel pump on, it got more than enough juice to crank. So we're gonna see if we can put the fuel pump to kick on. Fuel pump is on. Get enough pressure up there. Nothing's happening. I had to try to connect the scanner to see what we can do with this, if we see if we get some communication, but luego, it just says there's no communication, there's an error. So we ain't getting nothing with this. I don't know what else might be the issue. There's not really much to go off of. The pamphlet only tells you a certain amount. Yeah, you can say, well, you got to ground out your harness. And so there's only one ground right here where the PCM is at, and it's right there. And I have it grounded pretty good. For the guy who tuned my sister shark and deleted the VATs on this PCM, told him the issue. I had like three codes. One of them was fuel tank pressure. Another one was, I think, a throttle body sensor or whatever it was. And then I think it was the VATs, something that appeared on the VATs itself. So couldn't get the fire at all. He came over here, did his thing pretty. Bro, come on the fuck did down. His thing, told me to turn it on. And we got that to actually idle. Obviously, we can't outlet for long. We ain't got no coolant in it. But one thing that we ran into an issue with is, like, we're doing electric fans and I got the harness ready. I went ahead and told him, well, let's try that out since you're already here. We messed with it with a PCM. Come to find out, it's always turned on, even if you have it messed with, adjusted, turned off or on the HP tuners. With the key on, sending the ground signal to turn it on, key off, turns off. Same thing, on and off with the key or the switch, it'll turn off. So who knows what that is, but as long as we can get them to turn on, it's a good thing. We'll get that fixed. We'll come back to it once the show is over and we're not really in a rush. We're gonna have to figure that out later on. And then the cluster itself, I told him about trying to reuse the same one. He said it is possible, or I can go with a different one. I was thinking he was talking about Dakota Digital. He said there's one that's called a Glow Shift. He's actually either installed them or knows a couple buddies that have them. He said they never had an issue with them, and they're a lot cheaper, like $500-600 shipped. So that's something we're gonna do later on after the fact. So like I said, we're gonna keep these. Bro, chill the fuck out. We're gonna keep these here regardless. We're just gonna loom them in a different section and tuck them away for the meantime.